Why reform BC's electoral system? Why not keep the old, tried and true? If only those saying this understood what has been tried and what is true. A presentation by Brenda Guild. British Columbia's FPTP system, first past the post, a term from horse racing. First over the finish line wins all, the rest nothing. An electoral system from horse and buggy days, where all losing votes are worthless, only winners count. True or false? BC has never elected more than one member per district, except for these two-member districts between 1871 and 1986. And three-member districts, four-member, five-member, and six-member. True or false? BC has always had one voter, one vote. In multiple member districts, voters marked as many ballots as there were members of the Legislative Assembly to elect. Voters could choose a different candidate on each ballot, or they could vote for the same one on every ballot, called plumping. True or false? Districts always elected one representative each. Voters in Victoria and Greater Vancouver had 3, 4, 5, and 6-member districts. These representatives reflected the diversity of voters in the districts. Most rural districts elected a single representative, one size fits all. Some rural hubs elected 2 MLAs, more rarely 3. True or false? BC has always had its current electoral system. In 1952 and 1953, BC used an alternative voting system. Multiple candidates were ranked on one ballot, or 2 ballots in 2-member ridings. 50% plus 1 was needed to win. If the first count was less, votes for last-place candidates went to help determine a winner. Most districts required multiple counts to elect an MLA. True or false? Voters approved of all changes to the system. Never. Since 1871, BC governments have made many small and radical changes without any direct voter say. They can still do this. They must comply with the Provincial Elections Act, the Constitution Act, and related acts sanctioned by previous governments. They can change these acts, as well as the electoral system, without going to referendum. True or false? A majority of voters elect majority governments. Since 1903, BC has had 35 governments. 31 took power with less than the majority of votes. On average, 44.5% of voters got the MLAs and governments they wanted. Or, put another way, 55% of voters did not want those MLAs and governments. Why since 1903? Before 1903, political parties existed but had no official status. MLAs directly represented their constituents' interests. Natural coalitions formed to get the most pressing work done. By 1903, registered parties took over to forward supporters' interests. And the winner is? False. Partisan majorities 31 out of 35 times. True or false? BC has always had only a few political parties. Registered political parties in 2017 numbered 27. 18 of them endorsed candidates. 3 main parties split the votes. Better to keep the devil we know? Vote no to pro-rep. Keep our electoral process simple, stable, and successful. Is first past the post really that simple? Is it that stable? No real changes since 1871? Does it serve the majority of voters? Are there no devils in the details or basic concept? Are there any better systems? Yes. Proportional representation. Governments fairer to voters and parties. Question 1 of the ballot, to choose PR, choose that option. Question 2, DMP, 1 vote for 2 candidates, the second allocated to make results fairer for parties. MMP, the current system plus a second ballot to ensure fair results for parties. RUP, rural MMP plus urban STV. STV is 1 ballot ranking multiple members for results fairer to voters than parties. If you're not sure of question 2 but want to try PR for the next 2 elections, only fill in question 1, please. Sources? Electoral History of British Columbia, plus 2 supplements, and the 2017 election. These are from Elections BC online publications, plus numerous books about Electoral Systems, Notably Peacemaking, Power Sharing, and Scientific Methods of Elections by Richard Lung.